you got a friend in me. Okay, that's it for the music portion of this. The horrifying nature of it is over. Don't worry, everyone. Okay, so look, guys, thank you everybody so far who has bought Boy in the Hood out on Bandcamp until midnight. So you still got time. If you're feeling generous, you still got time to contribute. It's on there, bunch of tracks on it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about the whole thing. So I released Sad Boy EP in, let's say, October, maybe September, October last year, and always intended to do a series of boy albums. And I have the next one coming out at the end of the month, 20th of May. I've got Good Boy coming out. So it took a lot longer than I thought. Pretty much down to like working, longer hours. I have a 1-year-old. There's a lot going on in my life, and a global pandemic. So which you would think it would just make me work on it more. But I'm running the podcast and everything too, and yeah, priority has just been elsewhere. But finally got it done. Really proud of it. Really happy with it. I got Sarah McCready, who I know is in the comments. She features on it, as well as my brother in his first sort of musical venture as Hungry Ghost. He's on there too. We collabed on a track, which is, it's his track. He wrote the lyrics. I just helped him get there. Really happy with the thing. It's awesome. So we got those two on Boy in the Hood together. The one time they'll be together on one project, and threw a new song on there called Sensitive, which is turning out to be like one of my favorite songs that I've ever written, even though I wrote it and recorded it all in one sitting. Literally like 4 or 5 hours, something like that. Like written, mixed, mastered, done. Just because I wanted to have an extra for everybody for the record to make it worth your while, because I don't really like, I'm not gonna ask you guys to pay for something that's garbage. I want to give you something that's worthwhile, that I worked hard on and I think is good and is worth paying for. So yeah, it's on there. And then a live version of The Roads That We Pave that I performed for Douglas Week, which was a really cool event. If you want to see the actual performance from it, it was obviously all live stream because of the pandemic, and it's on the Your Spaceship YouTube channel. You can see me talk about the song The Roads That We Pave and do a live performance of it in this very home studio where I am. Yeah, I'm just noticing how prominent that TK Maxx bag is behind me, by the way. Yeah, my wife pointed it out in the last episode of the podcast, and it still hasn't moved. It's kind of like a garbage can for me. So there's a bunch of junk in there. So I've got Boy in the Hood out on Bandcamp for Bandcamp Friday. You guys can go there. You can buy it. If you can't afford it, just go listen to it. You can stream it on it, just to get a feel for the songs. You're gonna get the Good Boy EP on the 20th of May anyways. It's more of just a support your favorite artist thing. If you can and you want to, then it's there. If not, it's cool. Don't worry. It's all good. So, where did I put my phone? I gotta get into some AMAs. Because I don't have the best memory from the ones I seen earlier. Although I think there's a bunch more on there. Let's see. You're probably gonna get wicked bad feedback because I'm on my phone now. I'll have to hold it out here. Let's see. So, start at the beginning. How many times have you fallen off Rainbow Road? And yeah. Okay, so there's a song on the record called Rainbow Road, if you haven't listened to it yet. And It's like Rainbow Road's a reference to a Mario Kart track, right? It's like the most geeky reference that I could use to try and depict what I wanted to say on the song. And really, like, I have Sarah McCready to thank a lot for that song and the direction of it, because I struggled with just getting it over the finish line. It I had like all the instruments, and I had this song like for a long time, like before Sad Boy EP. I had this instrumental of this what I thought was a good song, and everything I wrote to it just wasn't right. Never seemed to really fit. I didn't like I wrote about it a lot of different things and was never really there, and it I don't know. I just didn't want to do anything with it. And then Sarah and I had talked about collabing like a bunch of times. She came to the home studio one day. We were gonna collab on a song, but there was just a lot of stuff happening, especially around that time was whenever my wife was pregnant, and like I said, priorities lay elsewhere. So it kind of got away from both of us to do a collab, and then I think the pandemic weirdly helped because it sort of forced a online back and forth to transfer things. And Sarah got some recording equipment of her own to record vocals, and I sent her this instrumental over, and all of a sudden she comes back with the super catchy chorus that is on it. There was like no tweaking to be done. I literally took the first thing that she gave me because I'm like, that's it, that's the one, and we're putting that on there, no more takes. Sarah's like, you want me to redo that? Like every constantly sending me messages. I could redo that. And I'm like, it's perfect. What's the point in redoing it? If it's perfect, it's fine. It's all good. And she wrote that chorus of the like, I think things are getting better, but then I end up back here again, and that just really formed this idea of it played in well to what I wanted to do for the Good Boy EP anyways, which was this idea of trying to better yourself in life, trying to improve one's mental health, and trying to show that it's not just as black and white as some people make you believe, of like, oh, I went and got help, now I'm better. Or, oh, mental health, that's where we care about this so much. But you don't actually care enough to sort of be like, there's people that just won't get better. And it will be like, I think as much as people say they're advocate for mental health, it's kind of like, if they actually had to deal with someone like me, they would just get frustrated and annoyed, because like I've had the help. I've went to therapy. I'm currently taking antidepressants. I don't care. I talk to anybody about this. I'm not a private person. I tell anybody anything. And I just been trying to get better. I just been dealing with depression. Couldn't really tell you why. It's a thing, and I struggle with it quite a lot. And although I'm working on it, doesn't mean I'm fixed. Doesn't mean just because I went to therapy that I'm all better. Doesn't mean because I take antidepressants that I'm super happy all the time. It's a slippery slope, It's easy to just fall off the wagon, and then you're back to square one. It feels like, anyway. But it's this whole idea of like learning the techniques and the tools, and then trying to use them to pull yourself out of that pit a lot quicker than you used to. That's kind of what improving it is, and really that's what the Good Boy EP is about at its foundation. Rainbow Road, the stupid metaphor that I used is that the Super Mario Kart track, Rainbow Road, and I say Super Mario track because that's the one I'm referring to in particular, was the hardest track because it had no edges, and it was just like this rainbow road in space. People fell off all the time, constantly. You're always falling off of it. It's not easy to do the track, and that's why it's the geekiest reference I could come up with to talk about depression. So how many times I've fallen off Rainbow Road in sense of depression? A lot. 517. The track Never, because I'm that damn good at Mario Kart. Okay. What I got next? I got a question here. What's your process of writing new music. Lyrics first, music first, or tune first, should I say? Yeah, I feel like that's often a question like people ask. I feel like a lot of radio DJs and stuff ask that as well, and it's like I really I never know if there's actually an answer because it just depends. I guess all the time, it's always gonna be slightly different, but generally I think a lot of the time I start with like a drum sample, maybe like something just to like here's the tempo I'm going for, and then I can work around that. Like I don't think I would exactly sit down and write a bunch of lyrics with nothing. Uh, I've definitely written lyrics before because I like have a line. I like that line's good, and I write the line down, but I don't have an intention of what the melody is for the line or where it's gonna go or what it's gonna be. But I'm just like, that's something good. I'll use that at some point, and I just put it away, wherever. Um, would like to be all old school and cool and tell you that I write it in a little book somewhere, but I just put it in a note on my phone because that's what everybody does now. Uh, yeah, so like, yeah, depends, but a lot of the time start with a drum track somewhere, some sort of drum track, not my drum track, just like a drum sample I can pull up pretty easily. And the one thing I would say is like, the more I become confident with my own production, I almost feel like I feel like I'm desperate to get behind like I say the mixing board figuratively because I definitely don't have a full on mixing board under here. I have a lot of equipment I've acquired over the years, but once I have things, I love just sitting down and just getting into it. You know, like my brother, Hungry Ghost. He brought me a track recently where he's like, "Here's the other thing that I was working on," and I just felt so like, yeah, let me get into these project files, and then that's me like, that goes there, this goes there. Like I kind of love somebody having started a little thing. I'm a very good song finisher. You give me like a little bit and I can finish it off easy. Okay, next one. What are your current musical inspirations when writing a song? Okay. Again, all very different. Depends what mood I'm in. And one thing I've learned over like so many years of songwriting and making music is that I'm not a I'm not really afraid anymore because I don't really want to sound like anybody. You know, I want to sound like Don Maple, and I feel like personally I'm pulling that off at the minute because I don't think anybody's really making stuff like I'm making. It can be a bit out there sometimes, but like I kind of like the fact that I don't even think I can control it sometimes. So I'll think I'm gonna make a song like this band, and it's like that's the vibe I want to go for. It's definitely not what people get at the end, because it it always just goes slightly into Maple territory, and then becomes its own thing. You know, like if I had to explain some to you, like Sensitive, that is on the Boy in the Hood album that's out in Bangkok for one day only if you want to go buy it. I really wanted to do like an Andre 3000 inspired verse. I think it comes across a little bit, but it doesn't sound like an Andre 3000 song by any means. It doesn't sound like an Outkast song. It sounds like a Don Maple song. But you could probably see where I'm coming from with the Andre 3000 verse. Although I wrote it a long time ago, I kind of wanted it to sound a bit like Whitney or Pine Grove or you know, someone like that. That was kind of the vibe I was going for. But again, I don't think it really came out 100% like that. But it's probably a good thing. My song Past, I wanted it to be a mix between Boxcar Racer and Kid Cudi. Again, don't know if people hear that at all, but that's what I was going for. But I think it's good that it doesn't sound exactly like that, you know? Okay. If you could open for any band or musician, who would it be? In the world? Living or dead? That wasn't included. I don't really know. I genuinely don't know. You say whenever you want to open for someone, but I feel like the minute that I see that question, I'm like, nobody. I would rather just stay at home. Because it's too much pressure, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's too much pressure. I don't want to open for anybody because I could tell you people that I really like. Do I want to open for them? No, I don't, because they're too good. And I don't want to open for those people because the crowd will turn on me. How did you first get into music and what inspires you to keep writing? How did I first get into music? I really can't remember why I started. I know that my mom and dad bought me and my brother a guitar, but I think initially it was for my brother, and then I just kind of took it, I guess. I think anyway, or else it was for me. I don't know. My mom will be able to tell me better. I can't really remember who it was for in the first place, or maybe it was just for both of us. But yeah, it was just at a certain point I started learning tabs, and then it's, like most people start with guitar. But I always tell this story where it's like, I mean, you're a kid and you're like, say like I was like 11 years old or something, and I don't know what multi-track recording is. So I used to record songs like whenever I started, like I couldn't tell you why there would be a thought process in my head that I'm going to start writing my own stuff. I can't remember that ever entering my mind, but obviously I did. And I used to record these songs on sound recorder on a Windows computer. And I'm actually going to see if I can find one for you and play you something really embarrassing, because I keep everything. I keep this stuff. So I have my old 11-year-old self singing into sound recorder. But the thing that makes me laugh about it is, so you obviously can't multi-track on sound recorder. You just record yourself once, and I had a really shitty microphone, and I would record myself, and then I would play what like the guitar, like the chords that I played. I would record all that and then play it on the computer and have it come out of the computer speakers, and then hold my microphone up to the computer speakers so that I could like I would hold the microphone, between the the speaker and my voice, so that I could like overdub if I needed to, maybe like between the speaker and the guitar to add like a riff on top of the chords. So it's very staticky by the end. And it's like I would do this over and over and over again to get as many multi-tracks as I needed. And you can imagine how like I felt the first day I discovered what multi-track recording was and found a program that let you do it, which was, that was a game changer. And that's really like, I was just always doing it. And one thing I remember in particular that maybe came before writing my own music as much, but I used to have this obsession with I had like a program that was like a DJ maker thing, and it was kind of just like a software program with two turntables, and you could obviously change like the tempo and the pitch of the songs, and you could put two songs in. So I would try and loop like parts of songs that I liked to make a instrumental beat, and then download these a cappella versions. There's like the Black Album by Jay-Z, there's some Eminem a cappellas, stuff like that, and I would try and put them on top. That's the one thing I wish I had kept to this day, because I definitely know that I did one that was Bob Marley and the Wailers, Waiting in Vain, with Eminem's My Name Is on top of it. And yeah, I feel like I want to recreate that because it sounds hilarious when I know that I did it. And that's just so dumb. That's so dumb. But I think like playing around, like I just always wanted to do stuff with music. Like even on my phone, I remember I got obsessed with people who had phones where you could make your own ringtone, and I was like, I really wanted that. So it was like, even then like talking on these like Sony Ericsson phones. I really wanted one where it's like, oh, is that like a music maker thing, and I can make my own ringtone? That's amazing. That's so cool. And I do that. All right. Sorry, I'm gonna try and pull an embarrassing song over for you, because that's what it's all about. I will answer the next question while... Oh, well, I suppose the part two of that question was what inspires you to keep writing, and I think the answer to that is more that I don't really think I can stop is the problem. Like, maybe a lot of musicians could tell you about this, but like, man, I find it difficult to not write music, you know? Like, it's almost like the feeling gets to me after a while where I haven't done it, and like something's bothering me and I don't really know what it is, and it turns out to be pretty much that like I haven't been creative in a while. Like, I need a creative outlet, I think. And yeah, that's why I don't think I can stop. But the thing I love about writing music is the fact that you literally can't do it until you're, you know, old and gray. Like, there's a lot of stuff you have to stop doing. Like, you know, if you love playing sports and stuff, it's like at a certain age you might have to stop doing that because you're not healthy enough. It's like, whereas, I mean, playing guitar, you pretty much play guitar forever, as long as you don't like get crippling arthritis or anything. But that's kind of a beautiful thing for a hobby, you know, if you think you get stuck in a point in your life where you literally have nothing to do, or you could have no one, you know, you can always have your guitar. I know it's a bit deep, but it's true. And it's always nice to just write something and then listen back to it and be like, hey, I made that thing. Okay, what song am I gonna pull over for you? I'm trying to find one of the oldest ones that I have. Oh, I could, fuck it, let's just do it. It's so embarrassing, man. Why am I doing this? I have the first song I ever wrote. I told you, I keep everything. Like, literally everything, I keep it. So, I've talked about it on the podcast before. And, it's, it has one of the worst opening lines ever. Not that any of the other lyrics are any better. But the first lines are, I come to the rescue in the nick of time, but what if my watch was a minute behind? I think I thought it was really smart back then, but it's really dumb. So if you want to hear like 10-year-old, 11-year-old Stuart singing, you're about to. I can actually tell you the last edited date on this was the 17th of May 2007 at 6:50 in the afternoon, just in case you wanted that extra piece of information. So 2007 I don't even know if that means it was recorded in 2007, but probably around there, something like that. So here we go. Cringe Fest. Oh, also the guitar is so out of tune. Of course it is.
Come to the rescue in the nick of time. But one of my watches a minute behind. It can't always be there when you need me to save the day, but I'm not ignoring the words you say.
Oh man, that's epic. That's epic.
Even though I'm touching heaven, closer to him,
songs to a non-existent person as well. Oh, Jesus Christ, Stuart. What are you doing, man? Why do I remember this?
Don't you know I
Love you, yes I do. I think we're all done with that. I've come a long way, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, God. Right. Well, we all cringe on that together. Okay, next AMA. Let's move on. How did you manage to bag a hot wife who is cool with you spending so much free time doing music? I have a feeling I know who sent that in. I think. Yeah, I don't know. Think she just ended up with me accidentally, I guess. I don't know. It seems like an accident, and then you were just kind of roped in, and you know, now here we are, stuck together. I wrote the Sensitive is the song I wrote for my wife, and it's about as romantic as my love songs get. I'm not very good at writing love songs because I don't know, I find them so cheesy. If you like, I don't know. I like saying nice stuff, but I'd rather say like real stuff, which is why it's more about eating pizza and getting drunk together and watching TV and falling asleep on the couch, because that's life. It's not like, you know, I would die if you walked out that door or something stupid. With, you know, the melodrama. Okay, is there anyone local who you would really like to collaborate with? Yeah, there is. There's obviously people that I have collaborated with: Sarah McCready, Hungry Ghost, other people that I will not say as of yet because they are gonna be on my upcoming second album, so I don't want to spoil that, but I've already worked with really cool people that I'm really happy about. But yeah, there's a bunch of people I'd love to work with. I would love to have Leo Miyagi on a verse on something. I would love to have Jordan Adetunji on a verse of something. Part of me is just part of a dream of mine is just to have me, Leo, and Jordan all in one song together. That would be like, I don't even need to be on it. I'll just mix it. I just want to hear them on one together. And my dream would come true. But yeah, I mean, it would be really cool to collaborate with those guys. Trying to think who else. Yeah, I don't know. That's the first one that comes to my mind, where it's like I would love to do something with those guys and just yeah, I think we could make something really cool. Anyway, any advice for new artists just starting out on the music scene? How did you start? Again, started whenever I didn't really think about it. I was in that band I talked about way earlier in this thing called Faux Phoenix, and really, if it wasn't for the people I was in that band with, who are, I mean, I've been playing music with the same people like all my life. You know, Smoothie Shepherd, he was in that band. Sasha, he was in that band. It was the three of us. And yeah, if it wasn't for Adam from Sasha, then he probably would have never played a first gig. But he organized something, and probably will forever be my best paid gig to date. I got paid so much for that. We got paid so much as a band. It was at a place that was having a summer festival that I don't think they understood what they were doing. I don't think they understood the bands they were hiring. We played with a band called Purple Road, who I think were kind of like, I say big, but I don't really know how big, but people had heard of them, I guess. And people were like, oh, you're playing with Purple Road? That's cool for your first show. But it was a bit weird because it was like in a community hall. It was meant to be outside, and then the weather sucked, so it was like inside, and it kind of felt like an assembly because everyone was in chairs. So yeah, bit weird, but got paid really well. But I would say for the music scene, like, the thing now is that it's very different, right? Whenever I started, I felt like the whole place was just complicated and secretive, and there were so many gatekeepers. There still kind of is, but I feel like the community's getting a bit better at realizing that the only way to elevate the music scene is to work together. Whenever I started, it felt like it was dying, and I didn't acknowledge it as much because I was like pretty young and I didn't really know what it was like before. But I talked to an engineer that works at Start Together Studios, and I remember having a good conversation with him whenever we were making a Hit the B Button EP, and he sort of said he feels like the music scene in Northern Ireland goes through this thing where it's kind of like a death and rebirth. And there was a time when it was thriving at the time of General Fiasco and Two Door Cinema Club, So I Watch You From Afar. Like, all these bands were like really doing something at that time. Like, I mean, I remember like General Fiasco, my god, like anthems to my youth, you know. I love that band, still love that band. Glad that they're playing shows again. Was really gutted when they stopped making music. And that second record that they made was just, you know, it didn't get enough love. It was so good, didn't get enough praise. Anyways, I feel like that is what came just before me entering the music scene. I remember playing my first show in the Pavilion, and like, we didn't know what we were doing. We tried to work it out, and we thought, you know, this was one of these pay to play things, because a lot of people don't understand whenever you're that young, and you end up making the mistake before you learn from it. And that's what we did. And we went there was nobody there, and then there was just a group of drunk people that came in at the back and started yelling and complaining. It was terrible. We didn't even really play in the end, and just ended up leaving. And it was scary because we were in the middle of Belfast, and we were very young, and we were also underage to be playing in a bar anyways. So all a very bad experience, which put me off doing it for a long time. But there was some fun ones, you know. We played like a place in Newcastle where there was like a Halloween thing, and we got this guy to play bass for us, and he dressed up as Jesus, which was hilarious. And we covered Tribute by Tenacious D. It was a good time. Again, got that video somewhere on my computer because I document friggin' everything, man. But I think now there's a lot of tools. Internet is obviously like a better tool than it was back then. Like, at my time of starting, the only thing that existed was fast food, whatever way you want to pronounce it. I don't really know. But that was like the only Northern Irish music community page that existed. It was a website, and it was kind of just like, oh, if you want people to try out for your band, you post there. If you want to trade gear, you post there. It was a bit weird. And now you got so many things. And I'm not just self-promoting, but I mean, as a podcast that we run at Your Spaceship, Six Set Bro is pretty much designed to be a music news channel for music news internationally, but also always bringing it localized into Belfast and Northern Ireland, because that doesn't exist. And as much as there's BBC Across the Line and, you know, other things like that, I just don't think there's really like a weekly, you know, this week this guy brought out a song, this week this is happening on the scene, where you're not regulated by radio. You're not regulated by anybody telling you what you can and can't say. You can just talk about this stuff if you want to. And we always thought, well, that's a great idea to have these younger artists, if they can discover that podcast and listen to it, and they can listen to it every week. We try and give out tips. We try not to hide anything on it. You know, like the last episode there, we were talking all about, you know, what do you do whenever you have an EP to release or a single to release, and we were just talking through all the stuff that we would do personally. Like, I'm not gonna hide it from you. I tell you exactly what I do. I don't care, you know. So I think you need stuff like that. There's a lot of cool groups that do things now. BGO Productions is just a great team that put on shows and really try and search for people out there that you know, that maybe wouldn't be on these, I say higher up bills, but it's something about it's, Man, don't even start me talking about this stuff because I don't want to go down a bad path of talking about Northern Irish music. But I mean, I think we all know, anyone that's played in it, is that there was a lot of gatekeepers, and that is obviously changing a little bit now. Um, but it was hard. There wasn't a lot of options. Put it that way. You only worked with a small number of people, and yeah, I'll stop right there before I go any further. But yeah, I mean, if you're starting now, I just think there's so much stuff that you can look into. You know, find the podcast, find other podcasts, find stuff like that Instagram page, like what's it called, NI Music Industry Tips. Like, man, there is so much stuff, and I've always just said I'm an open book, man. You can message Don Maple anytime if you don't know what to ask for or whatever. You know, like younger musicians have messaged me in the past, and I've just told them everything that I know, and I've tried to set them up with people to work with, and I'm happy to do it. Because if you don't bring these younger kids up behind you, like, you do realize that you're killing the music scene. Like, that's whenever people are so closed off, so like fueled by just looking after themselves, you just kill it. Because the only way to build a music scene is you learn from the people that came before you, which I felt like there wasn't a lot of people for me to learn from. I had to learn from my peers who were just learning from mistakes. Like, we were all the same age group. But now you got these kids coming up. It's like, you know, let's tell them everything we know, because if we don't and then they screw up, it's like it just prolongs everything and makes it harder for them. Why would you do that? It's like you bring them up behind you, and then, you know, you have yourself a music scene. You teach them that you have to be a community to work together. You know, you get a band that starts breaking big, then they're like, hey, this band, all amazing people, let's bring them on tour, let's get them a support slot here. You know, that's the sort of people that you want moving up, because they remember where home is, you know. And whatever people want to say about Snow Patrol, I don't really know what their opinion is, but I mean, Gary Lightbody, looking at him still, I mean, he feels that way constantly. He still comes over here. He puts on a thing like Ward Park 3, where it's like all Northern Irish and Irish talent all together. He didn't have to do it. He could have brought a bunch of big bands with him that he knows. I mean, they're freaking Snow Patrol. They can do whatever they want. But he chooses to do that because he is of that mindset and of that time. So yeah, that was my last AMA. If there's anything else you guys want to know, just throw it in the comments there. But I'm just gonna wrap up here. You guys have been absolute gems staying with me for so long. I didn't actually intend to stay on this as long as I did, but you're all beautiful and it was a good time. So you got like an hour and 45 minutes if you want to buy Boy in the Hood, or if you want to just listen to it, stream it, because it will be coming down after midnight. But fear not, Good Boy EP will be coming out 20th of May, and then Lord knows when, because everything takes a little longer when you got a 1-year-old and a stressful full-time job. So there will be a second album at some point, and I got plans for it. I've got tracks for it. I just can't promise you a date because I don't know. That's it, guys. That is it. Look, love you all for joining me tonight, and thanks for putting up with my rusty performances. I don't think anybody's gonna hire me for a show anytime soon. After that dismal performance, man, I was so pumped for the start, and I was like, I don't know these songs anymore. I haven't played these in such a long time. All I've been doing is like making new songs, which I have no acoustic versions for. I haven't worked that out yet. Yeah. Look, we'll leave it there, guys. I'm not good at ending things. I feel like I just need to cut offline. Go get Boy in the Hood. It's one day only. 20th of May. Good Boy EP. Hopefully get some shows starting up again soon. And you know, as every week, you got 6 Set Bro on Wednesdays. So we'll be back again on Wednesday with another show. I will catch you very soon, guys. Thank you to everybody who has bought the compilation album, by the way. Like, seriously, as much joking I say about like buying a car and all this shit, I was like, man, it really does help. So I appreciate the support, especially because I haven't been able to play any shows. But thanks y'all for joining me, and yeah, I'll catch y'all next time. I love you. Be nice. Have a slice. Tom Maple out. Later.